Chapter 5 deals with the theoretical foundation of public relations. Public relations is a social science, which means a study of human behavior. More important to public relations are persuasion models that explain how to persuade people to change their opinions. Organizational theories deal with communications with employees. But the mother discipline of public relations is communications theory. Public relations messages do not persuade the public by itself. Only people can persuade other people. Propaganda is an aspect of public relations. Cantrell's laws explain how to persuade the public to change their minds, but ultimately, people persuade themselves to change their opinion. The theory of structural functionalism states that people want a stable, predictable social structure. On the other hand, the evolutionary perspective recognizes that society is in a constant state of change. Also, different groups are in conflict with each other because they have different goals. For example, the U.S. Constitution limits government power because there is an inherent conflict between the government and the people that are governed. The First Amendment protects the press because the media informs the citizens about government actions, which keeps the government in check. However, the news media gives viewers a very limited view of the world, and this narrow viewpoint affects the formation of public opinion about many issues and organizations. The social cultural paradigm recognizes that people view the world through colored glasses formed by each person's unique life experiences. Everyone perceives situations differently based on their personal past. In general, a person's religion, economic class, educational experiences, gender, race, and age all influence how they see issues. On the other hand, the psychodynamic model recognizes that people modify their opinions over time and that media plays a significant role in the evolution of people's opinions. The essence of public relations is to manage communications to change public opinion. Public relations deals with internal stakeholders, which are mostly employees. Organizational theory presents a platform to understand the conflicts within a company. Management and workers have inherent conflicts, but they also have an inherent common interest in the company doing well. Profits and wages are connected. Companies must be profitable in order to pay higher salaries or to provide more employee benefits. Public relations can moderate internal conflicts through honest communications, which reduce misunderstandings. Public relations can also shape the corporate culture, which consists of the shared values of the employees and the management. But public relations must always keep it real. Communications must be based on the mission statement and the core values of the organization, and they must be honest. The basic communications model consists of four simple steps. First, the public must be aware of a problem or issue. Publicity plays a significant role in this stage. The next step is for the public to gather information. The role of public relations in this step is to provide accurate, relevant facts, often through paid promotions. But public opinion has tremendous inertia. People are reluctant to change their opinion without an overwhelming reason. Often it takes a shocking event to trigger a change in public opinion. For example, the 9/11 attack triggered a shift in public opinion about how much privacy people were willing to give up in order to prevent terrorism. Then the change in public opinion results in changes in behaviors. For example, after 9/11, people were much more willing to patiently wait in long lines at airports. In terms of business, the change in behavior may be a willingness to try a new product. Public relation messages can set the stage for changes in public opinions, but only people can persuade people to change their minds. The most powerful persuaders are in your social circles, family members, church groups, social acquaintances, and fellow workers have the most power to persuade people to change their opinions. Written or broadcast news media has much less power to persuade. This is evident in national polls that show that people have little trust in journalists. The role of media is much more to make people aware of an issue than it is to change their opinions. But there are public officials that people respect. The public statements and actions of these opinion makers have less power on individuals than family and friends, but they have a much broader influence on a larger number of individuals. Maslow's hierarchy of needs says that people must satisfy their physical needs for food, shelter, clothing, etc., and then their need for safety before they even think about higher level needs. In today's society, physiological and safety needs are mostly represented by financial assets. People need to earn enough money to put food on the table and a roof over their heads before they start worrying about what people think about them. Once workers earn enough for basic needs, then awards and recognitions can help motivate them to do a good job. Propaganda means one-way communications to passive audiences. Communications that rely on fear and prejudice to change public opinion. Labels are important for propaganda because words can make people think in terms of stereotypes. Also, propaganda uses vague descriptions that lets listeners fill in the blanks with their own misconceptions. The public reputation of the spokesperson is very important because they add credibility to the message. Propaganda relies on the concept of opinion leaders. The message implies that people should think a certain way because people that they respect hold a given opinion about an issue. For opinion leaders to be effective, people must identify with them. The promotional ads that are propaganda often show the opinion leaders interacting with ordinary folks in commonplace situations. Propaganda uses the bandwagon effect to give the impression that a given opinion is already held by most people, so one should join everybody else by changing their mind about the issue. Another technique is for a promotional message to present a one-sided view. Often the message pretends to be fair and balanced by representing an opposing view, but the opposing view is so extreme that people immediately reject it, and by default they accept the position pushed by the propaganda. For example, the choice may be between permitting guards to pat down people before passengers board an airplane or have an airplane blow up. Security measures are definitely needed, but this argument presents a false choice because there are other security measures that could be implemented to prevent a terrorist attack. Propaganda makes use of stereotypes to stir up bigotry and discrimination. Another propaganda technique is to lie by omission, leaving out important details in order to make the propaganda position look better. Propaganda often criticizes the motive of a political opponent in order to discredit the opposing viewpoint, rather than actually debating the issue. Cantrell described the forces that persuade people to change their opinions. First, actions speak louder than words. In particular, trigger events often force people to reconsider their opinions. Public relations cannot create trigger events, but changes in corporate behavior have much more influence on public opinion than mere media messages. The normal human reaction to a crisis is to demand change. Public relation messages must satisfy this demand with action. People are much more likely to change their opinion if it benefits them. Public relation messages should point out the advantages of a change in public opinion. Lastly, in times of crisis, people want strong leadership. It is better to do something, even if it's not perfect, than to do nothing. This is one reason that CEOs should step forward as spokespersons during a crisis. People expect leaders to take charge in a crisis. Ultimately, though, people have to persuade themselves to change their mind. But their opinions reflect their personal values. And it takes much more time for people to adjust their values than to merely accept new facts. Consider the evolution of public opinion on gay marriage. The change in public opinion has been very slow because the issue depends on the personal values of the individuals. Reciprocity means agreements that offer mutual benefits. It is easier to get people to change their minds if they get something in return. It is easier to get people to try a new product if they receive a discount or a coupon. Some charities put a nickel or dime coin in letters that ask for donations. Even some businesses hold contests or provide free refreshments to people who visit their stores. People feel much more comfortable with changing their opinion if they know that the other people have already changed their minds on the issue. People need the security of knowing that they are not alone in their new opinion. Sometimes, especially in crisis situations, people look to authority figures for guidance. Then the CEO or other official should serve as the spokesperson. Things are more valuable if they are rare. Messages often try to persuade people that supply is limited. Commercials often say that customers must call in the next 30 minutes, or that the offer will expire at a given date. Or the commercial may just flat out say that supplies are limited.